Let's look at the second dot point in our study of global tourism. So we're looking today at the factors explaining the nature of spatial patterns and future directions of global tourism. So what affects this large-scale economic activity? Well, there's a few different things, and we can remember this by using the acronym BSPOT. So if we have a look here on the right, we have biophysical factors, ecological factors, economic factors, sociocultural, technological, organizational, and political. You can swap that round, and the acronym BSPOT, B-E-E-S-P-O-T, is one way to remember those different factors. So the first factor is biophysical. So a location's biophysical characteristics may attract tourists for several reasons, and climate is a key determinant of this. And this is one of the most significant determinants. We all know that poor weather can lead to poor experiences. Imagine going to a Pacific island and it's continually rainy, windy, cold. It's not what you expected. So climate is one of those real key factors that influences tourism. So snow tourism. Well, there needs to be snow for if you want to go snowboarding or snow skiing. So any or a lot of travel to the Rockies or the Alps or places such as Thredbo in winter is obviously dependent upon climate, but also weather patterns as well. And typically it's quite reliable, and it changes somewhat over time with climate change. And of course we also have the alternative. Now, geologic and lithospheric, so some people might be attracted to a particular location, such as Yellowstone National Park, Hawaii, or Rotorua, for geologic or lithospheric characteristics. So this can determine the time of year. You don't want to travel to the Northern Territory, let's say the Kimberley region, or any of those equatorial places during the wet season, because it will not be all that enjoyable. So we've got some images there, obviously biophysical factors. You might be attracted due to the area's natural characteristics. So let's have a look at this. So this chart, we can see that we have the European and North American summer. It really dominates in terms of that time of year and that season. We can see there that in the months of July and August, around about that summer break time, we have the most amount of people travelling at that time. Okay, the next, ecological. So they may be, people might be attracted, or this factor influences tourism. They might be visiting a place because of its natural features, whether it's nature-based tourism, or they might be interested in bird visits, etc. So the Galapagos has seen an increase in tourism. The Galapagos is very much known for its natural history. It's got a bit of relationship with Charles Darwin, or Charles Darwin had a relationship with the Galapagos Islands and made that location famous. And it can also be for not too good reasons. So here we have wide-scale safari hunting, which is popular in regions of Africa. Obviously highly managed, but again, it's up to personal opinion. So the Galapagos Islands and also the Great Barrier Reef, people travelling to locations for ecological reasons. Economic. Again, money makes the world go round, and tourism is a big factor, a big player in terms of the global economy. So the GFC had a big influence on global tourism. We can see a drop in global tourism rates for some areas of the world after 2007 GFC. So national market growth and decline. The US dollar can influence global tourism. You've got competitiveness among service providers really trying to offer the best price for their customer, and this competitiveness overall leads to higher rates of tourism. So air travel has been a real area where that competition has been for the benefit of people wanting to travel. Affordability has increased, and rates of costs of air travel has declined. Exchange rate can obviously influence that, and discretionary spending. So national economic health can impact international travel. So here we can see international tourist arrivals. We have it increasing over time. More and more people are being able to travel internationally because of increased economic well-being. We have nations such as China, who are rapidly not only urbanizing, but they're rapidly increasing in terms of their economic well-being. And you've got large swathes of Chinese tourists traveling internationally because they have that discretionary spending, that ability to travel internationally becomes like a status symbol. And you have millions of Chinese tourists and other people from different nations that are rapidly developing, traveling internationally. So economics, key factor, driving tourism. And again, here's a little chart identifying that. So the maroon line there, identifying that rapid increase in the number of Chinese, or the amount spent by Chinese tourists. And again, the middle class emerging there. Even tourism companies within Australia that cater for Chinese tourists. So here we can see we've got some changes in the US dollar, which really influences international tourism. A couple of years ago, many Australian tourists travelled internationally because of the affordability. The Australian dollar was high, meaning that exchange rates were quite beneficial to anyone who wanted to travel internationally. Some other reasons, people might have a gap year or have some time off, and also we can see that that real affordability means that people are traveling more internationally. So sociocultural, it's becoming part of a status symbol like we saw in that previous pyramid chart of the Chinese middle class. You've got these various acronyms, and the DINKs, the double income, no kids, quite wealthy, traveling internationally. The pink dollar, you have your gay and lesbian tourists traveling internationally. Again, no children to suck all that money out of them. So sinks, I think that's you've got those single people who are happy and willing to travel internationally. Backpackers who want to do it on the cheap. Boomers might have retired, sold their house and wanting to travel internationally. And empty nesters, again, lack of children means that they're able to afford to travel internationally. Wanderlust, this idea, this hashtag that is quite pervasive among social media.